Welcome to Above Deck, a Below Deck breakdown podcast. I'm Sarah Goldman, a photographer and former marine biologist living in Charleston, South Carolina. And with me is my college roommate and co-host, Kelly.
I'm Kelly Busby, former radio host and current volleyball mom, coming to you from my home studio in Columbus, Ohio. Together, we hosted the Socks with Sandals radio show on WFAL in Bowling Green, Ohio, and we are back again this week to discuss Below Deck and our love of all things Bravo. Today, we'll be discussing Below Deck Med Season 9, Episode 14, New Kid on the Dock.
That's a good title for us.
It was good.
We were huge fans. And
I saw them a couple weeks ago.
Awesome.
It was amazing.
So exciting.
It was amazing.
Here's your recap. The new stew arrives and Aesha is grateful, but Ellie feels threatened. Nathan gets sad news from home and Gael and Joe comfort him. Tension between Gael and Joe increases and Carrie learns her way around the boat. Kelly, how many shackles do you give this episode?
Okay, so I gave this one 7.
Okay.
I thought it was a good episode. I thought it was like teeing a lot of things up.
Yeah.
So I thought it was good. What did you think?
I mean, if Carrie hadn't arrived, it would have been kind of a snooze.
Yeah.
Overall, like, I think she brought some life to the boat, she
Absolutely.
For sure. Okay, so right at the beginning of the episode, she arrives, Carrie from Scotland, and she's got lots of experience, and she's seen some things. No one is more excited than Aesha about her arrival, except maybe Joe.
Oh, my word.
So everyone is really wound up in general, especially the boys like Joe and Nathan.
So Nathan was the first to greet her.
Yeah.
And he was making small talk, and I don't know, but I felt like he was just being nice, like not in a flirty way. At least right now, at this moment, it didn't seem flirty.
Yeah. Yeah, Joe cannot help himself. Like he
I want to play poker with him.
Yeah, he's like an eager beaver. So it's at this moment that Nathan gets a text that a friend of his passed away. Terrible.
Just absolutely horrible news to get in general, but to get it when you're so far from home, I feel like it would hurt even more.
Yeah. So Carrie has just arrived in time for the crew night out. Love when this happens. At dinner, Joe makes sure he sits right next to her, and he's very excitedly asking questions, getting to know her. And Aesha and Carrie are like really hitting it off. That was fun to see. But Ellie is starting to get very worried about her position.
Yeah, but Carrie asking Ellie if she needed a stripper pole for her stripper shoes within a couple hours of them meeting, I don't think that gave Ellie the warm and fuzzies about Carrie, but
yeah, but like get a sense of humor, Ellie. That was funny.
I mean, you're wearing them for a specific reason, right?
Right.
Like to get a reaction. So in one of the vans on their way to dancing, Nathan, Bree, and Jono are all sitting together, and Bree is telling them, "Not that I give 2 Fs, but I know my time is done." And Nathan responds, "Oh, I don't want to hear that. You're good at your job." And Jono and Bree at the same time are like, I'm talking about Joe." And Nathan says, "Oh, yeah, Joe. Right. Oops."
Yeah, that was really funny. So to the club, lots of drinking and dancing.
Lots of both. And Nathan, he's just trying to drown his sadness. And I get it. It's horrible.
So now they're on the way back to the boat in the van, and Nathan tells Gael about his friend that died yesterday.
That's huge for him. I mean, he's Irish. And from my experience, Irish families are not really big into sharing their feelings all that much, if at all. So for him to come out and tell her that's big.
Yeah, that made me sad for him. That it was hard for him to like express being sad and like feel some shame around that.
Yeah.
So Aesha tells Joe that he really needs to support Nathan, and Joe tries to do just that when they're in the bunk together.
He was sweet.
Yeah. The next day, Aesha has a meeting with her 3 stews, and she decides that Carrie is going to be a floater and just kind of help out where needed. And she wants her to be on service quite a bit so she can just kind of see what she can do. And she asks Ellie, just kind of take her under your wing, show her where everything is. And Ellie is viewing Carrie as a fourth stew, because I guess that's what a floater typically is. But she must not realize that Carrie has more experience than either her or Bree.
Ellie is very quickly back on her soapbox of hierarchy with
Second
Carrie.
stew, second stew. Yeah.
This is going to be fun. This is going to be really fun.
There was a tweet that somebody shared a few weeks ago that said, I hope the new stew is made second stew just so she can remind Ellie every 5 seconds or whatever. Okay, the preference sheet meeting. Murphy and Beth from Dayton, Ohio.
Whoop! Yeah.
And 3 other couple friends. And everyone is going to be celebrating their 15th wedding anniversary.
Cute.
These are their wants. They want a birthday dance party. They want Uzo. That sounds like a party. And then they want some kind of like water game challenge with the crew.
This is the second season in a row that we've had a Ohio guest.
Yeah.
Primary.
You're right. I mean, some would say Ohio people just want to get out of Ohio. I would say we just get around.
Well, I mean, it's either Hilton Head or Below Deck. Like,
yeah, exactly.
That's where we go.
Okay, side note. I really like how Sandy will often call crew members by their full, like, proper names. She's always calling Jono Jonathan. And do you remember how she would call Chef Dave David?
I think
You'd be like,
so
David?
True.
Who?
Who's David?
Whenever she says Jonathan, I'm like, wait, who's Jonathan?
Did I forget that one? I don't know.
Yeah.
But as they're going through the meal requests, they come to the guests asking for tapas instead of like big plate meals. And Jono says, ooh, I love that. And they cut to Sandy and her face is kind of saying, of course you do. She's just like, and of course, there's a mention that there's a possible swordfish allergy. And Sandy kindly reminds him to keep that in mind. How would you handle something where it said they have a possible allergy to it?
That's kind of a weird thing to put on your preference sheet, possible. Like, if you're not sure, just say you're allergic to it. I mean, because you're not going to be like, hey, why don't we try it?
On a boat in the middle of the bed.
Yeah.
Halfway around the world.
So Ellie tells Aesha that she wants to learn as much as she can, the last couple charters about how to be a chief stew, because that's her goal, like on smaller boats when she goes elsewhere. And yeah. What do you think?
Ellie's making sure Aesha knows that she's still around. Like they have communicated so much in this episode. It was almost annoying, but Aesha's response of just keep doing what you're doing was perfect.
Yeah.
Do what you do.
Joe is still being very micromanagey with Gael. He doesn't do this to Nathan, does he?
No. I'm not sure why he's doing this, but I think Gael explains it perfectly later in the episode.
For sure.
Yeah.
So Joe is now down to one red shirt, and, they've been protecting Bree this whole time, but he goes to Aesha and lets her know, the crew's kind of been covering for Bree so she doesn't get in trouble with the laundry, and because they don't want her to get fired. And Aesha talks to Bree, but she's really not too hard on her because, what's the point at this point? There's just a couple charters left and she doesn't want to crush her spirit. The season's almost over.
Pretty amazed that they waited as long as they did because they were getting a little ripe from what I understand.
Yeah. Nathan and Gael discuss plans for when the season ends, and Gael plans to travel around Greece and then go up to Prague, and Nathan wants to come.
Ah, the postseason return ticket chat.
Yeah.
Do you think she's excited that he wants to go along with her?
In her green screen,
yeah, she was like, it's a trip for one that's turned into a trip for two.
I mean, yeah, it sounded like she kind of wanted to go on her own, but
yeah,
I don't know. It's gonna be interesting. Anything could happen in the next 2 charters. We'll find out if they actually go together. So Sandy talks to Bree and asks why she's still having problems in laundry. Why are there still problems? And Bree says, the system just isn't working for me. Kelly, isn't it her system?
At this point, she's tried so many different things. I don't know. I don't.
She does tell Sandy that she's better with colors rather than writing, and she wants like colorful beads or something, like a different color for each person.
Okay. I mean, the look of relief though, when Sandy and Aesha both say, if that's what you need, we will get it for you. I
Yeah.
just hope it helps her, and I'm trying to figure out how that would work because I don't think she's going to put it on the clothes.
Yeah, I
Just
don't
don't know. I'm
know. I was
curious. I'm very
picturing like a
curious.
safety pin with the beads on it, but why would you? I don't know. It's a
And
good
that's what I
question.
was thinking too, but they also, it's almost, I don't know, their names are on the
Just
shirts.
read the name. Yeah, I don't
You're going to
know.
have to read the name to know what color bean to put on it.
Maybe that will be in the burn book, like the color code system.
Ah,
Seems
yes.
more complicated than
It's all coming
necessary.
together now, Sarah. It's a full circle.
Yes.
That's
So
so cool.
we have a Mean Girls reference by Carrie. She says, "You go, Glen Coco," and it used to always be Step Brothers
Yeah.
references, but this season it's Mean Girls.
Can I tell you something?
Let me guess, you haven't seen Mean Girls. Ah, Kelly,
Why? What is,
what am
I
I
have a
gonna do?
feeling I know why, but girl, like I need to watch some movies.
Yeah, you do. I
Yeah.
think maybe, well, if you haven't watched it by the time we go to Florida in
Yeah.
October,
We'll do
maybe
it. We'll watch it
we
in the
should
room.
watch it together. It's so
On the beach by the
funny.
pool.
Yes, exactly. I haven't watched the new Mean Girls, but I've seen the old one, and then
Yeah.
I've seen the musical, and then I haven't seen the new movie, so I need to watch.
Okay.
She hasn't seen Mean Girls. She hasn't seen Jaws. Taken, I found out from Alex
Yeah.
in the last episode. You haven't seen
That one
Taken.
though, like
Too
that's like a
scary?
fear.
Okay.
That's a little like that could be real.
Yeah, for sure. Okay.
So that one, Jaws, I just have never had a desire to see it.
All right. Uh, I don't know.
I'm
You
weird.
you will never catch up on all the movies you need to watch, but Mean
I
Girls
know.
is must see TV. Okay, so the guests arrive and Aisha asks where they're from. They say Ohio, and she says, "I've never been to Ohio." And someone says, "It's just like this."
Hashtag the best response ever. Aisha, you can come and stay with me anytime. I'll show you around. We can do all the shopping and the eating places, and I'll take you to the best zoo in the world, at least in my opinion, but it's definitely the best in the US. And where
Mhm.
else should I take her?
Short North.
Yeah,
Um, where else? German Village,
Book Loft for
Book
sure.
Loft. Yeah,
Yeah,
those are like the places I would do. Like a, what do they call the first Friday art hop?
gallery hop.
Gallery hop. Yeah,
Yeah. That's a good
I would
idea.
do that.
Ooh, I could take her
Yeah.
to an OSU football game. It'll be a first for both of us.
You haven't been to an OSU football game?
Now, I've
Now
been
that
to a
you
couple
say that, I'm like,
tailgates.
have I? I mean, I've definitely tailgated and stuff.
Yeah. I
Been to
don't
a
know.
fall session.
To be fair, like watching football games at home in warmth or in coolness, like with temperature control, is much more my tea. But
Yeah.
so, Aisha, anyway, you want to come and visit? Hit me up. We'll take care of you.
Okay. I like it. So the undocking does not go smoothly, and Captain Sandy's wondering at this point in the season, why can't they do this with their eyes closed?
Heck is going on?
I don't know. It seemed like Ian was being more hands-on and not the radio guy.
Yeah.
I'm like, why
And
change things
why?
up at this point? I don't
Yeah.
know.
So weird.
Okay, so we have more jokes about the scenic views of Ohio, and the guests are really loving the food, but it's too windy to eat out there, right? Like the girl's hair is just blowing everywhere. Like I would have wanted to eat
Yeah.
inside.
And they definitely should not have put like empty glasses on the table.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like they could have served those. I don't know.
Yeah. Question. Did you know what a merkin was before this
Sadly,
episode?
yes.
Okay, that's all I have to say
Yes.
about that.
I don't
Um,
understand them, but yes.
water sports time. Banana ride, love
Yes.
that. And these guys seem really fun.
Of course they are. They're from Ohio. I mean, look at us. We're pretty fun
They're
too.
pretty fun, yeah.
Yeah.
So meanwhile, the tension between Joe and Gail is getting worse. And I said this a few episodes ago, and I still stand firm that the reason this is happening is because Gael is taking Nathan away from Joe, and Gael seems to kind of draw this conclusion as well.
100% agree. The closer they get, the grumpier he gets. So,
Mhm.
the night prior, he was comforting Nathan, and while he was fresh in his morning with of his friend, and then the
Yeah.
next morning, Gail comes in early and climbs up on top bunk and cuddles with him for a little bit, and she's just there for him because he was there for her during her tough times.
Yeah.
And Joe saw all of that, so he's just pissy,
Good
and he
point.
just doesn't like sharing his BFFF.
Yeah, for sure. Ellie is questioning Aesha about Carrie being on service, and Ellie said she really felt like a third wheel. And she wants to make sure that she doesn't get demoted. And Aesha reminds her that it is her call as chief stew to decide the stew's positions.
She's got to know what she can do.
Yeah, I this was a weird conversation. I'm like, just
Yeah.
calm down, Ellie. It's time for Hot Tub Convo, where we discuss what's happening with our favorite Below Deck cast members.
Sarah, we haven't seen a preview for the next Below Deck show,
Yeah, you're
which is
right.
interesting.
Mm-hmm.
So we're on episode 14, and there's usually 17 episodes in a season. So a new
Mm-hmm.
season should be starting in about a month. So
Yeah.
what do we think?
Well, historically, when we have this conversation that we haven't seen a preview, we're recording today on a Sunday and the episode's going to come out on Monday.
Yeah, it'll come out.
Historically, the preview will be Monday. And then this will seem outdated when it comes out on Tuesday. So maybe that will happen. I was quite sure it was going to be Sailing Yacht, even though lots of people are like, oh, it's never going to come out.
Yeah.
Um, we have our reasons that we think it's going to be Sailing Yacht next,
Mm-hmm.
but it could be Down Under. That
That's true
wrapped a
too.
good while ago. I mean, it's not going to be Below Deck OG. That just happened. And,
Right.
we just wrapped the last season of Med in January. Like we had Med and then,
Oh, yeah.
yeah, then did we have Down Under and then OG and then Med again. So,
Yeah, I think so. Because we skipped sailing
yeah, we
season.
skipped a Sailing. Yeah, because I'm sure they're re-editing and trying to figure out storylines and that kind of thing.
I
I
don't know what you're talking
still
about.
I still feel pretty sure it's going to be Sailing and I think it's going to come out in the next couple weeks, but it could be Down Under if they're not quite ready. I don't know.
Nonetheless, we're ready. We're excited. Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Sailing Yacht, this season of Sailing Yacht is probably like the most anticipated season of Sailing Yacht
Oh,
ever,
gosh.
or Below
Absolutely.
Deck. So I finally watched the Below Deck Med After Show, just the most recent one.
Yeah.
And I sent you a little video clip from it. Whoever did Bree's makeup for that, it was giving Memoirs of a Geisha
Oh,
or like Casper the Ghost. And
yeah.
I saw somebody when I was in Europe that had like this white makeup. And I just wondered, is it a thing right now? Like,
To be paler in the
yeah,
face
like
than the
super
rest of your
pale.
body.
Yeah, because yeah, Bree's like hairline was still like tan and her neck and stuff was tan, but her face was like chalky white. It seemed,
I,
I don't know. Somebody tell us, is this a thing and we just haven't figured it out?
which
I
is
mean, it's a
fair.
weird
It
thing.
could be.
I don't know. So Jono was asked about serving the raw fish at the mermaid dinner, and he did take the blame, but
Yeah,
he was sure to point out that Aisha's also to blame because she took the plate, out to the guest. Um,
absolutely.
and Aisha, she did, accept some responsibility, but Kate Chastain said, like, you're not his babysitter, you got a lot of other, it's not your job. I mean, I don't know. So I can
It's a
see
team
both
effort, I
sides.
feel like.
Yeah, but it's definitely him. Like
Yeah, yeah,
he's the one in there reading the preference sheets.
yeah.
So the cookie for dessert. Jono said he
Yes.
told the guests what the dinner menu was that morning, and not a person said like, no, we don't want that cookie.
Huh.
Um, so that's kind of interesting.
Yeah.
And they asked him like, would you serve a cookie again? And he's like, yeah, 100%. Like it's delicious. So, I mean, I think even if I did prefer creme brulee, which I do, I would have eaten that cookie and ice cream and enjoyed it. Like, who cares? Right?
They were drunk.
Yeah.
I mean, look at it. She had like that beautiful diamond bracelet that she got. She's in the med celebrating her
Good point.
anniversary with fireworks.
Yeah.
You know,
Eat
she
the
just
cookie.
damn cookie.
So, Kate and Aesha talked about Aesha's love of balls. By the way, I
Yes,
was
yes.
disappointed you and Alex did not go into great detail about the balls conversation last episode.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie, like I didn't know where to go with that.
What can you say about balls? Okay. So Kate said the reason Aesha likes him so much is because Scott is only 32 years old and she should just wait until he's an old man. Aesha talked about her relationships with chefs over the years, and she said Tzarina was the first chef that she could actually have like an adult conversation with. And
Aw,
she also said that Tzarina, they were roommates, and she used
yeah.
to lay out her pajamas for her every night and like pull back her covers. Isn't that so sweet?
Verena was an amazing chef and an amazing human.
Yeah, I really hope she'll be on the next season of Down Under or something.
Yeah.
I suspect she probably is, but who knows? Joe and Nathan said that they showered together once on the boat
What?
with their bathing suits on, and
Okay.
they washed each other's backs, and they did this to conserve hot water after the whole like hot tub valve fiasco.
Sure they did. You guys keep telling yourselves that.
They just
Bert and
love
Ernie.
each other so much.
I'm gonna call them Bert and Ernie.
That's good. I like that. That's funny. Um, I did. Is there any other below deck news? I feel like it was kind of a slow week for
It's
news.
been a well because everybody heard you were out of town, and
Yeah,
so
so
they
they just didn't
had to
do
save it.
anything.
We had to
Okay.
save it for Sarah. The name of this episode though being New Kids on the Dock. Um,
Mm-hmm.
I did see New Kids on the Block, and I sent you quite a few videos.
Yes, you did.
Um, and I will tell you, I am grateful now that I have the opportunity to see them whenever they come to Columbus because that was my third time
Yeah.
seeing them. Um, they're just yummy.
Yeah.
But you know what
What?
the best part was?
You tell me.
Jonathan did not want to be there.
Really?
He
Did he
was
want to
going
be
through the
there back in the
motions.
90s?
He disappeared a few times.
What? Really?
Yeah. There was a part where they were all in the crowd on like go-go dancer kind of like stands.
Okay.
And he was right in front of us. And he's just like, Jordan's right here. And Danny's up in the crowd. Like, we don't even know where he is. You can see
Uh-huh.
him. Danny and Joey are getting hugs from everybody. Jordan's high-fiving. We look down and Jonathan's gone. And we were like,
He had to go to the bathroom. Who would you say is the most into it? I'm gonna guess Donnie or Jordan.
absolutely Donnie.
Okay.
Like I would say Donnie and then Joey and showed up. And then like the other three are really into it. Jonathan just wanted to go home.
Yeah.
It was past his bedtime. He's like, I'm getting too old for this.
So
But
funny. I have
yeah,
never seen New Kids on the Block, even though they were my all-time favorite band from like fifth, sixth grade time frame.
I've got something for you. I will be sending it your way.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I'm really excited.
I have more videos too to send you.
I really wish I had well, what would I do with those life-size posters I used to have of them? I had like all five posters, but I really wish I had my button that was like this big. You know what I'm talking about?
Yes, because I had one of Jonathan. I think I still have it.
I think mine was all of them,
Mm.
probably. Oh,
Even better. And then it was so big it had a stand on the back.
oh, you're
Like
right. Yeah, what was the point of those? Because you didn't actually wear it. I don't know. Yeah. Ugh,
so just wanted to share that with you. It was a great time. Next
I
time they
love it.
come, you're coming with me. We're gonna have fun.
Please. I mean, we did go see Jordan when he's
We
a solo
did.
artist. But yeah, we need to do that. I'll come to Columbus for that because I'm sure they'll never come to Charleston.
Well, it's time for our segment. Join me in the Wheelhouse, where we decide who needs to see Captain Sandy for a stern talking to. Sarah, who do you pick this week?
This week I'm going to go with Ellie for not appreciating the extra help of having another stew, Carrie, on board and just worrying about her own position. Like Bree was so grateful. Maybe I'll she can teach me something about laundry. And
Yeah.
Aesha obviously so grateful they could just like keep up.
Yeah.
And Ellie just thinking about herself and her position.
Surprise, surprise.
Yeah.
Surprise, surprise.
Well, that's it for this week's episode of Above Deck. Thank you to our team at Hurrdat Media, especially Grace. Please subscribe on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Don't forget to tell a friend about us, and please rate and review us 5 stars only.
Please follow us on Instagram at Above Deck Pod, and you can email us at abovedeckpod@gmail.com. You can always watch our episodes too on the Hurrdat Media YouTube channel. Until next time, I'm Kelly Busby.
And I'm Sarah Goldman. We'll see you next week.